Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to be looking at how to get into Subbuteo. So with the World Cup coming up in just a month's time, as of recording, I thought it'd be a good place because I feel there'd be a bit more interest in the game in the coming months about how to get into it. You know, the World Cup isn't just a one-off thing. There are clubs up and down the country. There are events up and down the country, and events on a really regular basis. Um, and there's also so many different styles of Subbuteo that are available to people now. So if you're interested in the old school 60s, 70s type Subbuteo, then that's available to you. If you're more interested in the modern game, which is kind of what I play with festive rules, then that's available. Or if you are really interested in a bit of a merger of the two, there's the big ball TSPA circuit. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I think it's good to just go through. We're going to do a little bit of a tour of what are really good resources, where to go, why they're useful, and then how to basically just get into it. So yeah, first place to start out of everywhere is the English Subbuteo Association website. The English Subbuteo Association website has loads of info. So it's got events, it's got the English circuits info, it's got clubs, it's also got rules. So it has everything you need to get started, really. So this is the homepage. It's got quite a bit of news. A lot of that is Masters, which has recently happened, plus World Cup news. And I suppose the first place to go, I would say, is the clubs. So if we go into Play Subbuteo, there's a club section. So this club section, I've had a look through, it's pretty much up to date. Most of the people I recognise or have heard of anyway. But this is what I mean. Subbuteo, I don't think has ever been this accessible. I remember when I first started, it was very rare to have a club within a 2-hour radius of you. But I'd say most clubs now, depending on where you are, obviously, I'd say most people will probably have a Subbuteo club an hour to an hour and a half away from them. You know, there's still going to be travel involved, and the travel will vary depending on how close you are. But I don't think most of the time you'll be travelling more than an hour and a half to get to a club or have a club night. So, you know, that's a really good improvement. It's not in every town, it's not in every city yet, but it's getting there to a point where it's much more attainable to get a regular meeting in. So this is the clubs page. You've got clubs such as Andover, Bristol, both of which are really active and really welcoming to new players, as well as Chasers. Chesterfield, really good and have a very regular Wasper circuit that goes on in there. Dewsbury Moor, which is also Yorkshire Phoenix, that's the club I play for. They have very regular meets on a monthly basis. And yeah, really, really good club, as well as Doncaster. You've got Harrow Hawks, again, they meet on a really regular basis. Haverhill, it's quite close to me, so I go there on a fairly regular basis. Kettering, Kirkstall, Langton Green, Leicester Foxes, London Road, London Subbuteo Club, Milton Keynes, Morecambe Bay, North Shields, there's loads, Pedmore, Solent. There are so many clubs. Have a look at this list, see what's near you, see what works for you, and then get in touch. Most of these clubs have email addresses. They also have Facebook pages, so there are multiple ways to get in contact with someone to find out. Now, if there isn't an obvious club near you and you'd like to find out if there is one, and maybe it's just not been put on here yet, then you probably want to go to the English Subbuteo Association group, something that we'll look at a bit later. And just ask in there, say, I'm based in Manchester, what's the closest club to me, sort of thing. Loads of people within the community will be able to help you with that. And that's one thing to say about the Subbuteo community, is they're really welcoming to new people, and will really help you come into the game and feel part of the community. So say you found a club and you don't have any equipment. That's not a problem. I would say most clubs will have quite a few players there, and most players, including myself, have multiple sets of bases. So if you don't have any bases and you want to come in, just let the club know. Say, look, I'm new, I don't have any equipment, but I want to come in, play a few games. can I borrow someone's bases? Most of the time there will be someone who will lend you their bases for the evening, no problem. And if it's a set they don't use very often, they may even donate them to you. It's that sort of community feel. So yeah, don't be put off if you don't have the equipment, and also don't be put off if you want to just bring your old school heavyweight bases along. There you can use them too. And that's a great thing with a lot of these clubs. They'll let you know what rules they play to. So some will be Fistive and old school, some will just be Fistive, some will be a mix. So yeah, really good way to get into the game. Now, if you're in the game and you're like, I want to actually play some tournaments or I want to play some events, then a really good stop to go to first is the English circuits. And they started the last couple of years. They've sort of started, and it started with the English Championship circuit. So the English Champ circuit is Fistive rules, so that's what I play in quite a lot of the time. And the top 10 for that championships goes into the Masters, which just happened recently. Now, if you're not super into Fistive rules or you're not into the modern game, then you've also got the ESA Old School circuit, which follows the old rules. Again, that's 6 events through the year, and your points get tallied up to have a final eventual winner in like a league table. Following on from that, you've got the TSPA English National Circuit, which is the big ball rules. I've not played in that one, and I've not played in the old school, so I don't have tons of information, but it's a really friendly community, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces because old school and big ball players normally cross over with Fistive as well, so you kind of get to know everyone. But if you do want more info on these, then check out the ESA website, or again, ask for more info through the ESA Facebook group. Following on from this, I would check out the events page. Now, the events page is really good for planning your year. If you go to the events, then down to ESA calendar, the calendar is really useful. So it will tell you what tournaments are coming up. It will also show you club nights. The club nights are in yellow. So for instance, Haverhill, I know, is on basically every Tuesday. So again, you can kind of plan out when the club nights will be. Not everyone is regular with the club nights because, again, the pickup isn't there yet to have really regular club nights for every club, but some are monthly, some are weekly. It's very dependent on who you're near. But on this calendar, you'll see tournaments that have happened and tournaments that are upcoming. So we've recently just had a Grand Prix in Mons. So yeah, again, foreign tournaments are put onto this list, which is really helpful. And then you've got the UK tournaments as well. So again, we just had the Masters, and then on the 1st of September, we've got a World Cup warm-up in Pedmore, which is near Birmingham. So I'll be attending that. And then, yeah, you can go through the months. So you've got September. You can see we've got quite a few tournaments in the lead up to the World Cup. And then in October, new season starts, and there's the first round of the English Championships, as well as the first round of the old school circuit in London. So you can go through this all the way up until about August next year, I want to say, and plan what tournaments you're going to do, or when you might have a club night, all that sort of stuff. And you can then get that signed off with whoever you need to get it signed off with, because we all have lives and we all have things that get in the way. So yeah, have a look at this, but use this along with the English circuits and also the clubs to get a good idea on what's out there. If you, in the meantime, as you're waiting to go to a club night and you want to brush up on the rules, then that's available too. So how to play section in the ESA, there is a rules for beginners, which is, again, useful to go through. There's also a rules app, I believe, on the App Store, and you can get Fistive rules, all that sort of stuff. There's also videos. Again, a rules series is something that I'm going to be looking at myself in the upcoming months. And then, yeah, we'll get into that as well as more training. So, yeah, moving on to maybe the Facebook side, the social media side of the English Subbuteo Association. They've got the ESA, or the English Subbuteo Association Facebook page, which is different to the group. Facebook page just promotes what's coming up, what's happening within the ESA. So there's currently a Flick It to Win It podcast that's worth listening to, as well as information on the World Cup, and also any offers that you may have if you become a English Subbuteo Association member. Something I didn't mention is actually if you want to join the English Subbuteo Association, it's £20 a year. Now, it's not necessary to join if you're playing in WASPers, But if you want to play within sort of the English Championship tournaments and to be ranked on the ESA circuit, then you'll need to maybe join, or you'll need to pay an extra £5 on your registration on each event. So it's worth joining if you're interested in that side and you want to try and qualify for a World Cup or such and such. There's also, members also get discounts from a range of places, so worth looking at. And again, if you're interested in it and it's worth it, the money does get put back into the game, so it's a worthwhile thing to look at doing. So back to the Facebook. Yeah, so that's the Facebook page for the English Subbuteo Association. I'll put all the links to these different places in the description. There's also the ESA group. So this is where you'd maybe write something if you were in an area and you didn't know a local club to you, or you couldn't find a local club. They also put events in here. So there's a Chasers Autumn Open coming up. There's also more promotion for the World Cup, followed by sort of new Subbuteo clubs get posted in here, as well as rules questions. So it's a really good place to be, and to keep sort of your finger on the pulse. Now, if you're interested in getting your own bases, or you get that far into it and you want to sort of commit to a base, then there are many different places you can go to. For the UK, one of the best places to go is the Wobbly Hobby Shop, which is currently run by the English Subbuteo Association chairman. Really reliable, and has a really good range of bases. So again, link will be in the description for this. But there's a range from starter bases. So these Sure Shot Pro bases are a really good starter entry level base for people, especially if you're looking to get into the modern game. And then if you're not if you're wanting something a bit more technical, then you can look at Extreme Works bases. This is something I use, or the Tachar 4 bases, again, both of which are really sort of, I don't know, not entry level and also a little bit more technical in terms of a base, but a really good starting point for anyone who wants to get into the modern game and want their own bases and teams and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, and then if you want to improve your game, then please stop by the Subbuteo channel. There's loads of training on here. There's at home, single, on your own training basically, and yeah, there's lots of drills. So if you want to then improve your game and you manage to get a table at home and you want to do practice, then please subscribe, or have a look. And yeah, but that is the whistle stop tour of how to get into Subbuteo. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.